I'm Angie Fenton, and I'm thrilled to be a part of the FSS Healthy Living series. You are enough, and make that count. So who am I? I am president and CEO of Extol Magazine, which was conceived of in late 2014 while sitting at Tucker's, actually, on State Street in New Albany. My almost husband, and now husband and business partner and partner in life as well, and I sat down at Tucker's and started dreaming. We dreamt and we wrote on a napkin, a paper napkin, if we started a publication, what would it look like? What would it cover? Who would it reach? What would be our mission? And we came up with Extol, which means to celebrate. Celebrating Southern Indiana and beyond became our tagline and our mission and what we do now. Fast forward, the first magazine, print magazine, launches in March 2015, and here we are exactly 6 years later, and it's launched into a full-fledged magazine and media company where we do far, far more than what I call my baby, even though I then eventually had a literal baby, our one and only, our daughter Olive. But the print publication was our heart. That's what we started with, and we started from the roots and built a business literally from that napkin, from the ground up. I mean, I remember being 9 months pregnant. I'm an old mama, totally surprised that I was pregnant in the first place. Never even imagined that I was going to have a child, and boom, God has other plans, surprise, I'm pregnant, and I am delivering magazines, 9 months pregnant, climbing upstairs, because that's what we did then. We took a dream and we built it. I recall watching the bills come in and worrying about how are we going to keep our dream alive, pay for the necessary things, but also grow at the same time. And it was all hands on deck. I mean, everybody, every facet, we were hands on because we knew we could make this work. And we had some struggles and challenges, that's for sure. But when I was 9 months pregnant, I was carrying all those magazines. I remember going up the stairs, and it was a little company that's on the corner of Daisy and Green Valley Road. And I remember calling my husband afterwards and saying, that is it. We are hiring a delivery team. I am not delivering any more magazines. And by that time, we'd actually worked so hard that we could afford to hire a delivery team. And eventually, we started investing more into our business, and we had people who invested into our business, but eventually we continued to grow and be able to offer more services. So in addition to that, up until very recently, I've spent about 9.5 years at WHAS 11, most recently for the past 2 as host of Great Day Live. During COVID, had a lot of time for some introspection and really taking a look at what do I want? What do I want the future to be like? What's important to me? And even though I've had a tremendous time at that station, that's the ABC affiliate in Louisville, I decided that I didn't want to re-up my contract, and I wanted to step out on faith and do something new. So I jumped headfirst all in to Extol, like I said, as president and CEO, and haven't stopped. My last day was February 15th, and February 16th, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and got to work and excited every single day. And I had, again, a great time at WHAS 11, but I got to work now. It's sink or swim, and it's up to me. It's up to me and my partner in life and in business in order to be able to do this. So in addition to being a business owner, I'd already mentioned our daughter. I'm a mama. My daughter's name is Olive. She was born on my birthday, which is now her birthday, back in 2016. So greatest birthday gift in the world. I'm the youngest of 5. 4 of whom were adopted. None of us are biologically related. I grew up in a tiny town called Holly in Michigan, rural Michigan, and grew up with a single mom. My dad left our family when I was 6 years old. I'm the youngest, and mom was a nurse who supported 5 kids on a nurse's salary. And even though we didn't have a lot, we had each other, and we had a mom who not only expected us to give of ourselves and show us how to give back to the world. But because we all are different ethnicities and different races and things, our mom's white, I'm multiracial, we have a sister who's Korean, another sister who's biracial, a sister who's black, our brother who's white. It wasn't about what we looked like, it was about our individual talents and who we are as people, that we were enough as people. And she did what she could without the finances. You know, without finances, we didn't have new clothes. I remember wearing hand-me-downs, and it was okay. She helped us to thrive in the best ways that she knew possible, while also teaching us with the very small amount that we had not just an opportunity, but a responsibility to give to other people. And I'll always be grateful to my mom for those lessons. But somewhere along the way, and I mean, some of you may identify with this. I mean, like I said, my dad left the family. There were things that happened in my world where I started to buy into that notion that I'm not enough. And I say, on my foot, I actually have the tattoo, I am enough. Very painful, but very worth it. But it's a daily reminder of what I carry in my heart and in my head, and that is that I am enough. But there was a time when I really questioned whether I was smart enough or strong enough or brave enough, or you just fill in the blanks there. I'm not enough. And that became the thing that when I would look into the mirror, I would tell myself, I'm not enough. You better be sure when my now husband and I thought about starting Extol that there were some days when I think we both looked into the mirror and looked into each other's eyes going, we are not enough. We are not enough to pull this off. We are not X, Y, and Z, but yes, we were, because somehow we were able to buoy one another. But there have been times, like I said, back in my life where I bought into that, where whether it was because my dad didn't want to be in my life or someone told me, you are not enough because of X, Y, and Z, that I actually believed that. That can be a tremendous, tremendous obstacle that we put in front of ourselves. I have had some challenges along the way, and that includes, though, even into my adult life. I shared, in fact, how far to the depths of feeling like I wasn't enough had really taken me when I was host of Great Day Live. I want to set the scene first before I ask you to watch this clip. There were a group of people who had experienced the suicide of somebody in their lives in some way or another, and it was a very emotional hour on the show when I was still host. And I didn't know up until that moment whether or not I would actually share my story. Only the producer and the director knew I could, but I may chicken out and not share it, but I felt compelled to share the reality of what I had gone through, like I said, the depths of feeling like not only am I not enough, but beyond that, where I have no worth. So I want you to take a look at this video right now.
To end this segment, I'm going to ask the Great Day Live team to call up a photo of me from the summer of 2013. Here I am with my dog Zeke, who has since passed, in a photo that was taken by my friend, photographer Kevin Talley, during one of the most difficult times of my life. At that time, I was Great Day Live's roving reporter. I was a freelancer for this very station then, but the bulk of how I made a living was at another job that had just informed me they'd eliminated my position. Despite the smiles and laughter that I often shared on Great Day Live every single weekday, while on remotes during this time, I was deep in the throes of darkness. After suddenly losing my main job, I couldn't pay my bills. I lost my health care. I was in danger of losing the home I owned, and I was spiraling into a deep depression of hopelessness. And nobody knew it, not even those who worked closely with me on this show. They also didn't know I was planning my death, my suicide, because I couldn't see a way out, and I wanted one. Every morning, I was live on TV with a big smile ready to go, but every night I prepared myself for this to be it. I was done. Except then I'd look at Zeke, this differently abled dog I'd adopted after no one else wanted him, and I would think to myself, not yet, not until I can find someone who can care for Zeke like I did. This went on for weeks, months even, in 2013, right here, to be honest, in front of viewers who wouldn't have even known that the moment the cameras were off, I wanted to die and end it all every single day. But Zeke, a dog who needed me, saved my life. It turns out I needed him more than he saved mine. Zeke made me feel like I mattered at a time when I felt like my life was over, and I hung on for him and only him, and thankfully, that was enough to keep me going. I'm here now, more than 6 years later, and I am grateful for every day. I also know most people who consider suicide as the only option don't necessarily have a Zeke in their life. They need you. They need us. Look for the signs we've shared on today's show, but also look beyond them, because sometimes you're not going to see the signs. More importantly, though, if you have felt or are feeling what I and so many others have, please reach out. You matter, we matter, and there is light at the end of what can feel like a dark tunnel. There's a number to call. It's 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. We'll be right back with more Great Day Live.
It's painful even for me to just kind of rehash what it was like. I mean, I was financially in dire straits. I was emotionally, I was mentally in dire straits. But I climbed my way out of it. I learned who my friends were, I will tell you that. I'm very thankful that a couple of my family members descended upon me without my permission. I was angry at them because I didn't want to admit to anybody how low I was sinking, but without them, I think I would have drowned. I really believe that. I had Zeke, that dog that you saw, who was really my lifeline, but not everybody has that in their life. And maybe you're not in dire straits like that. Who knows? I mean, it doesn't matter where you are in life. The common theme there, though, is that it is important for each of us to understand we are enough and we are worth it. So are you. You are enough, and make it count. You, just as you are, right now, today, are enough. But you have to make this precious, precious time count. So think about this. What do you want for your future? Whether you're 85 or you're 18, tomorrow equals your future. The next moment equals your future. What do you want out of that? You have to stop for a moment and don't just dream, but you're going to want to figure out, how do I do it? I'm going to share something with you. So if you go to the FSS Center, I dropped off some of these. One says, take time to grow. The other says, you got this. These are just journals. They're blank journals, but something that has always been super helpful to me. And again, when I said that my husband and I started Extol literally handwriting on a napkin, yes, we had cell phones. It's just the napkin, we could actually visualize it. There's something about the act of writing. Use the power of your own words. Go to FSS while supplies last and get your free journal and start journaling. Start writing. What do you want your future to look like? Again, it doesn't matter where you are in your walk of life, what that means. I have taken stock of my own life since COVID began. What does it look like? What do I want? What can I do? How can I help other people know that they matter? That's how I ended up saying I've had an amazing time at this TV station, but I'm ready to do new things and find new adventures. I want to ensure that my physical health is a big part of it. I'm pre-diabetic. I've lost weight. I have dropped my cholesterol points by about 60 pounds after being the heaviest and carrying the weight that I gained when I was pregnant, and then finding out, being adopted, only minimal medical information, medical history that I know. Diabetes runs on both sides. And so despite my best efforts, I'm pre-diabetic. So I don't drink alcohol. I started eating a vegan lifestyle, which, I loved a big hunk of beef, but I started making some changes because I envisioned my future and I want to be there for my daughter as long as I can. And if that means I need to do some things physically to ensure that I'm there, I'm gonna do those. So take stock, use that journal to write down, what do you want to do? Something that was so simple that my family did that was really my goal. We bought, I think it was 100 lilies, the bulbs, yellow lilies. I don't even know why, except I wanted some time in the spring after this tremendous year of challenge and loss and COVID and so much that's going on and racial unrest and calls for equality and justice and all the turmoil. I wanted something that we could put our hands in the dirt and be able to say, this is beautiful on a daily basis. So we planted 100 bulbs. And at the time it just felt so silly, but it was a tiny goal. And now as I'm watching the weather, I just keep hoping that hour, the hour and a half, 2 hours that we spent as a family, I'm hoping that we're gonna get to drive up and down our driveway and see just these bulbs sprout into beautiful flowers for nothing other than they're gonna bring joy. So maybe that's something that you want in your future. I know it's something I want in mine, because if the last year has taught us nothing, it's taught at least some of us how precious life is and how important joy and love and connecting with other people is. And so I'm gonna drive, I hope, by those flowers and smile with my daughter, with my mother-in-law, with my husband, with our neighbors, just for a second. But that's a tiny little baby step of what I want for the future. Take that journal and write. Use the power of your words. Name what you want, how you envision your future, and go after it. Don't just dream it, do it. And if I could just implore you more than anything, ask for help. I know the New Albany Housing Authority is a tremendous instrument of change. The Family Self-Sufficiency Success Staff, FSS, Lisa Donahue and her team are there to help you reach your goals, whether they're this big, planting bulbs, or this big, starting your own business, going to school, what have you, whatever it is. Ask for help. Reach out and ask for help. So many of us still understand the value of what it's been like to have mentors, and we know we couldn't do it on our own. You have an incredible resource at your fingertips. All you have to do is ask. It has been a pleasure. I hope that we'll be able to connect together face to face. Don't forget, go and get your journal at FSS. Lisa Donahue and her team know that those are there. They're blank, they're for you. Write it, dream it, and then go after it. Keep going, and know you are more than enough. Now make it count.